There's a difference between a failure and a fiasco. A fiasco is a disaster of mythic proportions. I'm so happy to have been a part of that process, and I would go straight back into the desert in a ton of chain mail for Ridley any day of the week. He's an amazing director and I can't wait to see the long version. Watch how you communicate with a woman. Because you're always communicating, even when you're not talking. With your body language, your facial expressions, your eyes. My whole career has been fulfilling my childhood fantasies, playing characters that are larger than life. Getting to play a knight, an elf, a prince, and a soldier. I have a personal little routine that I do in my dressing room just to kind of get myself mentally prepared to go on stage, and part of that is a poem that I read to myself. If you think of the ice caps as the fridge of our planet, if your fridge at home died, the food you eat would go rotten, and you'd starve. Lord of the Rings was my first experience making movies, and at the time, I had no ideas how movies were done. I thought that's the way they're done, so in a way, I had nothing to compare it to. I got to work with one of my heroes, Johnny Depp, and to see how he goes about business, which was really inspiring for me at this stage in my career. When you start to live your dream, it's not quite what you thought it was because there is a lot of overwhelming stuff that comes on top of it, and you have to figure it all out. I'm amazed that things have panned out the way they have. I always say I'm so lucky, though my mum always says, "You make your own luck." I don't do a film unless it has a sword in it. And if it doesn't have a sword in it, I insist that they have one in the same room to keep me comfortable. When you work in such a surreal environment as movies, just listening to some tunes or hanging out with friends is what you crave. Even time alone. I've done movies with a sword before, but I haven't really been given the full responsibility of something like a Ridley Scott film. Until this movie I have played a boxer, a cowboy, a knight, a prince, an elf and a pirate. I am so glad to have done all of that already, and am ready for this phase of my career. When you start falling for somebody and you can't stop thinking about when you're going to see them again, I love that. Women are beautiful. They deserve to be cherished and respected. I came back out here from England and I was there for a while and it was beautiful, and it is just great to see London going from spring to summer and autumn. I had the training at drama school where I studied Shakespeare and Brecht and Chekhov and all these period historical playwrights, and I think that I responded to the material. I missed my home. Like the physicality of my home, I missed my friends and my family mostly, and just hanging out and being in your home country. Culturally it feels right, and that is what I miss. I think a film set is a quite controlled environment, and you feel like you can trust them and it is going to be a safe place to work, but I really don't think about it. I try to take the time to appreciate, and I certainly do appreciate, and I do feel proud, but that is probably one of the things I need to work on, building a bit of time for myself. I'm trying to mix the cool, independent stuff with the big stuff, but it's been difficult finding the right roles. It's been an interesting ride as far as my career pendulum is concerned. Yeah. I mean the material, directors, the other cast, and if you think you can do something with the character, then you do it and go from there. I am looking forward to doing some smaller movies. A friend told me that teenage girls are always looking for someone to pin their dreams on. That doesn't make it any less weird though. When I was 9, I had this girlfriend and we used to have running races in the park. I wanted to be like Superman and fly in and rescue her. Although it is a fantasy film, it's as real as it can be. You have to imagine that an audience will buy their ticket to a cinema and get on a first-class flight and journey to Middle-earth. I remember one time that I was filming a scene in which my character rides through Troy on a chariot. I just looked around at this incredible set thinking, this is the life. Elves have this superhuman strength, yet they're so graceful. Tolkien created them to be angelic spirits, but I also saw Legolas as something out of the Seven Samurai. Legolas in Lord of the Rings was sent as a bridge from his people into the world of dwarves and humans and wizards and everything else. Attraction doesn't stop when a child is born. It's the opposite. Being a mum and dad makes you even sexier.